Mayung gabi, kumusta ka karon? Good evening. I just want to talk with you a little bit about what to expect on the day that you make your consecration. I'm very excited. I know you're very excited too. We've been all planning and preparing for almost by then 33 days. What does St. Louis de Montfort say of what to do on the day of your consecration? He says this: at the end of 3 weeks, they should go to confession and to communion. Let's talk about that for a moment. St. Louis de Montfort suggests that you go to confession. We really do want to have a pure heart when we make the consecration, when we give everything, all that we have and all that we are to Mama Mary. It's good for us to have a pure, clean heart. And so you should have a plan to go to confession. Whether you go to the chapel with your pastor, or you go to St. Michael's in Lanabo, or you go to the monastery, or you go to the cathedral, whatever you're going to do, plan to go to confession. You really want to do that. You also need to do it for your Easter duty. All of us must go to confession at least once a year during the Easter season. The Easter season runs from Ash Wednesday to Pentecost. So we all are obligated to make a confession at least once a year. Some of you, this may be able to take care of that obligation, and also to have a pure heart on the day of your consecration. We also may be able to make priests available to you, so stay tuned about that one in the Facebook group chat. But make a good confession. You will be so happy that you did, I promise you. I made my confession on Saturday already in anticipation of the consecration. He also says to go to communion. When you make the consecration, you want Jesus in your heart. You want the Eucharistic Lord inside of your heart as you say the words of the consecration prayer. That'll be powerful for you. So I recommend that you make the consecration after the Mass that you're going to have in Siniglanen. And so perhaps Jesus lives in our hearts for 15 minutes after we receive Holy Communion. And so ideally you're going to make the consecration and say that prayer in the chapel there in Siniglanen at St. Catalina's. And Jesus will be in your heart, and you'll say the prayer together. And that'll be so powerful. It will be Jesus and Mary speaking to each other within your heart. It's a very powerful mystery that's hard to even explain, but St. Louis de Montfort talks about it in the True Devotion. He says we must have the intention to be a slave of love of Jesus by the hands of Mary. After communion, which they should try to make according to the method further given on, they should recite the formula of their consecration. That formula, if you bring your book, or if you have, some of you have the English book, it's on page 196 and 197 of it. Also, you have it in Bisaya in the copies that we made for you. So you'll want to say that there and bring your copy there. After that, he says they ought to write it or have it written unless they have a printed copy of it. We're actually going to print copies of the consecration prayer for you with your name on it as a certificate, and you're going to be able to sign it and date it that day. We're also going to give you a commemorative certificate holder where you can put in your certificate in there and hang it in your house to remind you of your new relationship, this consecration that you're having to Mama Mary. He says also this: it would be well also on this day that they should pay some tribute to Jesus Christ and our Blessed Lady, either as a penance for the past unfaithfulness to the vows of their baptism, or as a testimony of their dependence on the dominion of Jesus and Mary. What he's saying here, St. Louis de Montfort, is suggesting that you make a sacrifice, you give alms, you make a donation, you light a candle, you say an extra prayer, an extra rosary, whatever you're going to do. It doesn't matter how much money you give or how much you give. It's really what's in your heart. You're giving yourself to Jesus through Mary. You're giving everything that you are and everything that you have. And what we want to do is light a candle, make a sacrifice, spend extra time with somebody that's lonely, maybe give some of our rice or food to somebody that's very hungry, give alms, give a little bit of money to someone that's very poor, pray an extra prayer for somebody that's in purgatory, one of our loved ones. Whatever it is, do something special. Make a gift to Jesus and Mary on the day of your consecration. Whatever it is, whatever you think you should do, but make sure to do it. He says this tribute ought to be according to the devotion and ability of everyone. So if you have a lot, give a lot. If you don't have much, just give the best that you have, and that's fine. Excuse me. And none of us really have that much, honestly. And so we just do our best, and make it an act of love. And Mama Mary and Jesus will be very proud of us. He says, if they had but a pin to give in homage, yet give it with a good heart, it would be enough for Jesus, who looks at one's goodwill. So he just looks at our heart. But don't forget to do that on your consecration day as well. And I just want to wish all of you great blessings that day. I pray for every day I pray for your courage, and I pray for your generosity, that you will not be afraid to give everything that you are and everything that you possess to Our Lady forever, and that you don't hold back. I pray for that grace for you, and I pray for me, and I wish I could be there with you. Especially wish I could eat the lechon at the fiesta. I'm very jealous of that. We will have a fiesta over here in Steubenville, in Ohio, in the U.S. We will be eating sausages, really, really yummy sausages from our farm, and we'll have chips and watermelon and pop and all kinds of good things. Not as good as lechon, but it will be great. And I also want to say this, I forgot. Bishop Noel has dispensed all of you that will be making the consecration or attending the fiesta at St. Catalina's from the fast, the requirement to abstain from meat on Fridays. Normally on Fridays, we are supposed to not eat meat, or we're supposed to make a sacrifice. We're supposed to pray maybe the Stations of the Cross or the Divine Mercy Chaplet as an extra penance if we're going to eat meat. In my opinion, it's better just to not eat meat. It's cleaner, simpler, and not subjective. And so Bishop Noel is saying to all of you, he told this to Father Dupont, who told it to me today, that all of you are dispensed from eating meat. And so I encourage you to eat all the meat that you can, all the lechon that you can, etc., at the fiesta, knowing that Bishop Noel has dispensed you from the normal penance that we would have to do on a Friday. So celebrate heartily on that day the gift of Mama Mary at Fatima and all that means, her maternal love, her care for all of her children and their salvation, and for also your consecration. May God bless each one of you. Know that you're all in my prayers, and I look forward to meeting you one day really soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.